afternoon show, we've been featuring local charity From Me to You. They organise anonymous letters to be sent from volunteers to people who are undergoing cancer treatment. And we've been hearing some of those letters this week, and they're beautiful. Some are filled with, well, kind of the mundane of day-to-day life. Some are filled with something quite spectacular. Some just share a little bit of the writer's life, where they live, what's going on, something that's made them smile. It can be something so simple, and yet, as we've been hearing from recipients of these letters this week, it can be so powerful, because if you are undergoing cancer treatment, the lady yesterday told us sometimes you can feel quite alone. And you can feel a little bit isolated. And sometimes it's nice just to get a letter from somebody you don't know, just to kind of take you to a different place, give you a little bit of a boost. We can hear a couple more letters today. These are letters which have been voiced up by actors.
Hello. It is a beautifully sunny day, and I am in my local library. I have been thinking about what I could write and tell you. And now it has come to me. I'm going to tell you about a reason. Yes, that is what I said, a reason. Last year I attended a course as part of my job, and during the day they talked to us about mindfulness. We each had to take a raisin, look at it, smell it, listen to it. I rolled mine in my fingers and against my face. I was transported back to my children's childhoods. I always carried small boxes of raisins as snacks. I remember having loose raisins in my pockets, raisins in their buggies, raisins in their nappies. When I returned home after the course, I gave my teenage children a kiss
and my twins a hug. Small objects can bring up memories. I thought about my parents and what I associated them with. My mum loved cooking. At Christmas, the house was filled with the smells of fruitcake and mince pies. My dad is a reader and always has a book on the go. I wondered what people would think when they thought of me. Maybe books, walks on the beach, probably not raisins. What would you think about when you remember people close to you? Something unusual, perhaps. And what would remind them of you? I wish you well and hope that you're comfortable. Stephanie.
Hello. I heard you were in hospital through the From Me to You letters, so I thought I'd drop you a line to say hi. I'm currently at home playing YouTube music to my dog. Yes, they even have music for dogs. They say it helps them to sleep. Not sure it's helping her, but it's definitely relaxing me. Maybe it's a secret plan to send me to sleep so she can go wild.
I've had a day off today, so I've had a chance to do all those jobs that sit on the to-do list for months, because they're just not interesting. While I say I've had a chance to do all these jobs, I haven't actually done any of them. They're just not interesting enough. I will sign off now. I hope you are getting the best possible care and lots of tea. I think tea can help, whatever the situation. Wishing you well, Dan.
Ain't that the truth? Put the kettle on. And of course, the letter before that about the raisin was actually written by the lady who sits in front of me now. This is Stephanie Coates. How funny. So, listening to your letter about the raisins took me back to when my children were little. What was that about? Every time I put my hand in my handbag, I would just come out with random raisins. I think it's because you think, oh, it's healthy, it's fine. Yeah. If they're creating, I'll just give them some raisins. It's better than chocolate buttons.
It was bizarre just doing this mindfulness thing, and it was funny because my husband did it actually on a different course and didn't really get much out of that course. It has to be fair to say. But I really did, and I keep saying, those raisins spoke to me. They spoke to me about, my children now are 15, 13 and 9. And just, I was transported back to when they were little. Yeah. And as you say, there are literally raisins everywhere in your house, aren't there?
I know,
the buggies.
Raisins and little bits of rice cake.
Yes, absolutely.
And just the smell of a rice cake now takes me back to that time.
Yeah, to their toddlerhood. And I was just, I was in a room, Hove Town Hall, but I was transported to these little boxes of raisins. And I just thought, that little thing has sparked a real fond, lovely memory for
Yeah.
me, and I will try and put that in a letter. And see where it takes me, really. But it was quite nice writing about that.
Oh, it was
And,
beautifully written. How did you come across the charity From Me to You?
It was in, actually, Brian and Alison were in Jubilee Library earlier this year, and I had heard about it through the library service, so I decided to go and see if I could write. You know, I really wanted to do it, actually. I thought it was a really lovely, lovely thing. But I thought, what can I write about? Will it be a nice thing to do? Well, you know, can I do it justice, if you know what I mean? I sort of thought, will what I have to say be of interest to anyone?
But I think a lot of people will relate to that. I think there'll be a lot of people who've listened to this series this week and think, it's such a lovely idea. I'd love to volunteer my time. I'd love to get involved. But is anyone actually interested in what I'm going to write?
But I wrote the Raisin story, but I've written about walks on the beach, beach cleaning, actually what I've found on the beach. I've written about the cherry blossom, how that transported me back to my childhood, actually, playing with my sister in the garden. So it's just little minutiae, you know. It's
the
things
truth
like
is,
that.
it doesn't really matter what you write about.
No,
The gift is in the giving of the letter itself.
And that's been the nice thing, actually. I think when I do write, for me, it's about slowing my life down, because I'm quite busy with 4 children and work and everything, so I slow my life down. But then I really hope to distract the person that's getting the letter. I really hope to distract, you know, they're going through a very hard time.
Yeah.
And as Veronica was saying yesterday, it's quite lonely, isn't it? It's quite a lonely, isolating experience. So if my letter can distract them and provoke a little chuckle along the line, then that's quite a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
well, I think listening to Veronica yesterday, it really touched me because she had to have this iodine therapy as part of her cancer treatment, which meant she then had to be in isolation for 3 days.
Absolutely.
And when she said she turned around and saw this little letter, you know, on her pillow,
Yeah.
knowing that really it was just her and that letter for the next 3 days,
yeah.
I just thought, wow, that's huge.
a really, really big thing, and I think that's it, actually. So if you can just write something, it takes half an hour. I mean, there was a lady earlier in the week, wasn't there, who writes 1 a day?
Yeah, she was very committed.
Very amazing. My target is 1 a week. I do probably 1 a fortnight, really, but it's half an hour out of my time, which is nothing, is it really? In the great scheme, you know, we're all busy, aren't we? But I think if I can spend half an hour, and it's a very lovely half an hour. Actually, it's just me, a cup of tea. As I say, often the sun's coming through the window. I might do it in the library, and it's just a very nice, restful thing for me. And then if someone like Veronica gets a lot out of it, that's a really nice, special thing, isn't it?
And that's the thing with volunteering, isn't it? It's a mistake to think that volunteering is all about you doing stuff for somebody else, because actually volunteers get a lot out of it themselves.
And I hadn't realised how much I would get out of it, actually. I come home, often I do it on a Wednesday afternoon, and the kids, they'll have a little bit of telly time. I make a cup of tea and I sit there with the sun, you know. Well, one time it was snowing, you know. I wrote one and it was snowing, the heating had broken, it was all very...
nightmare.
Yeah, but I had a hot cup of tea, I had my letter, I had my pen, my paper, my thoughts, and it was, I do get a lot out of it, actually. It's quite a mindful experience, really, so, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in to chat to us today, Stephanie. If people want to find out more about the charity, then they can. You can take a look at their website, www.frommetouletters.co.uk. Stephanie Coates, thank you so much.